Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. Am I the a-hole for yelling that I have nothing to do with my ex's unborn child because I am not the mother? I, 25 female, was in an on and off again casual relationship with Jeremy, 27 male, for over 4 years. What I mean by that is we were never seriously dating, but we were exclusive. So no sleeping with others, and that wasn't because we were planning to be together at the end, but to reduce the risk of STDs or pregnancies and paternity questioning. I had met his family a few times. They liked me, but I wasn't around them very much. Kinda the point of being casual and everything. Feelings did develop near the end of our on and off again period, and we broke up for real for 6 months. He told me he didn't want it to end. I wasn't sure he was serious enough about making a serious relationship work. I told him that. I was open to one, but some of his actions made me doubt. 4 months ago, he came to me and told me he had worked on himself and he was ready to be a true partner. We talked it out and we got back together for real this time. I spent some time around his family this time and we talked about the future and our goals. 2 months into our serious relationship, his ex, from before the start of our original relationship, announced she was pregnant and that the two of them had slept together while he and I were broken up for the 6-month period. He didn't deny it, but he said he didn't want her. It was blowing off steam one weekend and how he was still committed to me and there would be nobody else ever because I was it for him. I told him I didn't want to be involved in a baby thing, that he was having a kid and I wasn't, and I was out. Since that point, he has repeatedly tried to get me to change my mind. The mother of his child has tried to talk to me so she can yell about how unfair it is. And his family have begged me to come back, that they love me and never liked her, and how he and the baby need me and they need me. And they don't want to be left dealing with the actual mother and how good of a mom I would be. I was blocking people all over the place, but in the end I lost my temper and I set up a group chat with all of them on a different number and yelled in a voice message that I am not the mother of my ex's unborn child and therefore I have nothing to do with this baby or the situation and I won't take him back. I won't have anything to do with this, and if telling them all in one place needed to happen, then here it was. I stayed in the group for a few hours before growing tired of the mother of the child being outraged that I would speak to her like that, where my ex was pleading and saying I couldn't dump him when he didn't cheat, and his family saying how unfair I was being and how needed I was. Now, I kind of regret doing it because I wonder if they will actually leave me alone or still look for ways to contact me, and it might be more pissy than before. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I think she's mad he wants me and his family likes me and not her. Possibly even because I was with him at the time. Maybe she feels like they should be focused on her and the baby and not me. Which I can't say is entirely wrong because that kid is being born into a lot of tension and delusion. She seemed upset that I was with him when she told him she was pregnant. The fact his focus is on me and his family wants me back because they like me and not her, I think she hates that. Not the a-hole. You set a clear boundary and a whole crowd kept stomping on it. He didn't cheat during the breakup, but he still made a baby with someone else, and that comes with lifelong responsibilities you never signed up for. You are not obligated to be a stand-in mom, a free childcare plan, or the family's emotional shock absorber because they prefer you over the actual mother. Could the group voice message have been more elegant? Sure. But after weeks of pleading, guilt trips, and late-night calls, a firm no in one place is understandable. Block them all again, stop engaging, and if they keep finding new ways to contact you, treat it as harassment. Document everything and consider a single final message. Do not contact me again. Further contact will be considered harassment. Then go full no contact. Their emergency is not your obligation. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Girl would be playing mother while the biological mom is out living her best life. The dad is still acting like he doesn't have a child, and the family would be gaslighting you about how you need to step up more and be more involved. I'm glad you saved yourself the headache. Do not go back. Not the a-hole. His actions have consequences. He had sex with his ex. That then resulted in a pregnancy. Why would you want anything to do with that mess? You would be tied to that woman for life. Absolutely not. Also, he should get a paternity test. I would laugh if it turns out the baby isn't even his. But after his and his family's behavior, you wouldn't even get back with him if that was the case. You don't want to deal with emotionally manipulative people. Not the a-hole. This is not your problem. Good on you for breaking it off this early. I can imagine how much worse they would be if you abandoned the baby after it was born. Like, who's going to take care of it now? May I suggest sending them resources on adoption every time they continue to contact you? Story 2. Am I the a-hole for not buying a house with my boyfriend? I, female 38, have been in a relationship with my boyfriend, male 47, for almost 2 years. Currently, we own one property each. We have the opportunity to buy a house together, 50-50, at a great price. I was hesitant because the credit of the house needed to be under my name, and I would have to sell my property to pay my mortgage and then request a new one, but I agreed. A few days later, he suggested that I put the money from the sale of my property towards the shared house. I felt it was unfair because he wasn't putting extra money. He offered to put the same amount of money with the condition of not selling his property. He told me that he will get a loan to match my part. FYI, the house will be only under my name due to his poor credit score, so I don't know how he will get the loan. After asking him about why he wanted to keep his property, he mentioned that if we broke up, he would return to his property and I will keep the shared house. I tried to explain him that if he leaves before we pay it, I won't be able to afford paying and maintaining it on my own. So I will need to sell it and I might not have enough money to buy one for a while. He thinks I would be winning because I would end up with a house that is more expensive than the one I currently own. I feel that it is unfair for both of us and suggested that we either sell both properties or none at all and cancel the purchase. So I cancelled the purchase. Now he's telling me that I'm being unreasonable and that he doesn't understand my logic. Am I the a-hole for not buying the house because I will need to sell my property and he won't? Edit. We both started with one property each, but if I sell mine to buy our house, he will have his and half of ours. And I'll only have half of ours. For me, it doesn't matter that it will be under my name only. We all know it is ours, not mine. He believes I'm acting like a brat, that I want my way or the highway. Not the a-hole. He wanted you to sell your home, take the mortgage in your name because his credit is bad, and also front extra cash, while he keeps his place as a bailout plan. That's a wildly lopsided risk. You would carry the debt, upkeep, and liquidity risk. He keeps a safety net and matches with a loan you would somehow be responsible for. Canceling was the only sane move. If you ever revisit this, both on title and mortgage equal cash in, written cohabitation property agreement. Buyout clause, who pays what happens on breakup, or don't buy together. Don't jeopardize your housing security for someone unwilling or unable to take symmetric risk. Now for some comments. Depending on the state you live in, you could end up in court facing an unregistered domestic partnership, palimony lawsuit. I'm not a lawyer and this is way oversimplified, but basically a divorce for unmarried couples. He could force you to sell the property and get his portion of the equity or a refund of monies he paid. Plus, you may have to legally evict him from your property if he chooses to be difficult. Best to either be married or not be married. Do not live like a married couple in any way. Do not commingle assets or money if unmarried. He sounds like a broke man who's trying to come up on your dime. There are a lot of financial risks involved in buying a home with someone you're not married to. The law doesn't exist to protect house playing. You did the right thing, especially since it doesn't seem like either one of you had involved an attorney to actually understand how to protect yourselves financially in such a situation if the relationship went down the drain. He's the one with trash credit asking you to take all the risks. So he should have been the first to offer up solutions to protect you instead of snatching random stuff he made up out of his navel. Not the a-hole. Either way, he's the winner. You stay together, he gets a house that's all his own and half the shared one. You break up, he still has his house, and you'll get stuck with the mortgage. Ask him why you have to sell your house and he gets to keep his. Since you have better credit, logic says if anyone could take out a loan, it's you. So it would be best if you reversed positions in his plan based on the logic he's so quick to throw in your face. That's the best option. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for being furious with my pregnant wife over a prank? 31 male. I've been with my wife Lisa since college, and she's currently 7 months pregnant with our first baby. My wife Lisa is witty and likes to play jokes on me. For example, she likes to pass off fake facts and stories as real and see if I'll believe them. Lisa was a theater kid, and so she's great at acting and selling these stories. I used to fall for her pranks all the time since I'm gullible and she's so convincing. However, now that I've been with her for so many years, I can typically tell when she's messing with me. She has upped her antics over the years, and so she can occasionally get me to believe one of her jokes. Today when I got home from work, Lisa had tears in her eyes and told me she needed to talk to me about something. I was seriously worried and sat down with her immediately. I asked what was wrong several times and she kept saying it was hard to talk about, and she was terrified I would leave her. I kept pressing and she told me she had an affair with her boss several months ago and wasn't sure if the baby was mine. I asked if she was serious and she said she was 100% serious and started crying even harder. I got up, started pacing and tried to gather my thoughts. After a few minutes, Lisa bursted into laughter and said she was just joking. I was furious. I said it wasn't funny in the slightest to make jokes about cheating and the child not being mine. Lisa said she was a bit offended that I believed that specific prank and not several others. She said she couldn't believe I actually thought she would cheat on me. She then got teary and asked why I didn't trust her. I asked why I would trust her after she pulled that prank on me, managed to cry telling me about it, and continued with the prank even though I was viably upset. Lisa said it was harmless and I was blowing things way out of proportion. She continued to ask why I didn't trust her, and I told her I needed some space. I ended up going to a speakeasy and have been away from the house ever since, even though Lisa has called several times. I know it was a prank, but I think this joke went way too far, especially with the tears. I was also clearly upset, as anyone would be, and she should have stopped it as soon as she realized I was actually falling for it. Usually Lisa's jokes are funny, but this one really got to me for some reason. Am I the a-hole and am I overreacting? I feel badly because she's very pregnant with my child, and I don't want to stress her out, but I need space right now. Not the a-hole. That wasn't a horrible prank. Cheating plus paternity doubt is a nuclear topic, especially during pregnancy, and she pushed it past the point you were visibly distressed. Then pivoted to, why don't you trust me? She's weaponizing your trust and then guilt-tripping you for having a normal reaction. You're allowed to take space. Text her that you're safe and we'll talk tomorrow, but make clear this boundary. Jokes about infidelity, paternity, illness, miscarriage, death are off limits permanently. She owes you a real apology, not a sorry you were upset. If she doesn't get why this crossed a line, a few sessions with a couples therapist could help her understand impact versus intent. Also, don't let her reframe this as you not trusting her. You did trust her. That's why the fake confession wrecked you. She exploited that trust to get a laugh. If she wants a playful marriage, great. Set rules so humor doesn't come at each other's expense. If she pulls something like this again, it will corrode the relationship fast. Now for some comments. First of all, if she is stressed over you keeping your distance, too fucking bad. This is her fault. If she hadn't acted like a moronic child with a stupid prank, there would be no stress to be had. Secondly, that is not a prank, that is cruelty. Literally nothing funny about it. Thirdly, she is avoiding owning up to her own fuck up by asking why you don't trust her. Don't let her deflect your justified anger with her crocodile tears. She is not the victim here, she is manipulating you. Definitely get a paternity test. I cannot be the only one who thinks the cheating part isn't what she lied about. It's just a prank, bro part that's the lie. She faked being so distraught and had a specific person to point to as a affair partner, not a one-night stand but someone she sees nearly every day. I would for sure be getting a paternity test. Christ.